Welcome to the IndX Expert Series. I'm Clement May, Digital Manufacturing Delivery Lead in Europe. And today we're launching a series of 10 episodes about SAP Digital Manufacturing, also called SAP DM. During each episode, you will be able to meet one of our experts who is involved in our customer project. You will discover how SAP DM is transforming Tier 1 automotive operations with real customer stories and scenarios that can mirror your shop floor. Today, we will start with the master data integration from the ERP into the MES. So I hand over to Javier.
I am Javier Oroz. I am a digital manufacturing functional consultant at Engineering Industries Excellence. And in this series of videos, we will show you different solutions using SAP Digital Manufacturing. And in this first session, we will focus on master data integration. We will show you the architecture needed for master data integration. We will also demonstrate you the integration flow and how to maintain master data in SAP DM to enrich ERP master data. In this first slide, we can see the diagram of a quite common architecture for SAP DM integration. So let's say you are a customer with this architecture using S/4HANA on private cloud as the ERP system, while on the OT network side, you have a combination of MQTT protocol and OPC server technology to connect and collect data directly from the automation layer via the relevant PLC tags. Now we see the data which is transferred in each communication flow. We have here the ERP sending master data and transactional data via IDocs. Here we have the different type of IDocs. We also have SAP DM sending confirmations back to ERP. We have different confirmations here, like the yield confirmations for receipt and so on. And the machine data here on the bottom part. And you can pause the video here if you want to see in more detail the different data interfaces and SAP components needed for the integration, such as Cloud Connector, SAP Integration Suite, or SAP Production Connector. But today we will focus on this part, on the integration workflow, the reception of master data and transactional data from ERP to SAP DM via IDocs. Okay, so first we are going to demonstrate how to send data from ERP to SAP DM. Let's say you are a customer and you want to produce this Cooper. This is your finished product, okay? And for that, you have in your ERP system all the master data, material master data for the finished product and for all the components, as well as the bill of materials, these three work centers, assembly, testing, and packing, and the routing for these three steps, which are these three work centers that we just mentioned. Then let's send some master data. For that, we have to go to our S4 system. In this case, this is our ERP system, and we will use the RF out transaction to send master data. This transaction is used only for testing purposes or to initiate master data download during cutover activities. But there are different ways to send master data. You can, for example, use the BOIM transaction or automate this process. Normally it can be automated. Here we will select what we want to send. We want to send the materials. So we will select them and we will enter in the filter the material that we want to send, which is the Cooper. And we select the plant. We save and execute. This will generate the MatMas IDoc that is needed to transfer the material data from ERP to SAP DM. And now we will continue with the next step. The second step would be to check in SAP DM if we have received this IDoc correctly. For that, we go to SAP Digital Manufacturing. This is the main screen of SAP Digital Manufacturing. And we will go to Integration Message Dashboard app. within SAP DM. And we can see here the material that we just received right now. This is the Cooper material, and this is the IDoc information that we have in it. Now, the third step would be to check that the material has been created in digital manufacturing. We have different apps to check the different master data, like manage materials, manage work centers, manage operations. For the moment, I will show you how to see the materials. For that, we go back to SAP DM. We go to Manage Materials app. We filter by the name of our material, and here we have it. So here you can see the data that you have maintained in ERP that is replicated correctly in SAP Digital Manufacturing for this material. Okay, so let's imagine that we have already sent all the master data that we have in ERP, and we have already the bill of materials, the work centers here in SAP DM. So we can, for example, go to Manage Work Centers app, and we should see here these work centers. We can see here Cooper assembly, Cooper packing, testing. Okay, here are all the different master data from ERP replicated in SAP DM. Okay, and now we can continue with the next step, which would be to maintain in ERP the master data that is not in ERP. Here we can maintain additional master data that we can use to enrich the ERP master data. For that, we will use different applications in SAP DM. So, for example, let's say that for the use case that we are presenting, if you as a customer want to eliminate all the paperwork instructions in the software and you would like to maintain the work instructions in SAP DM, you have the Manage Work Instruction app. Okay, so here we can go to Manage Work Instructions. Here we filter by Cooper. We can see here the work instruction for this finished material. In this case, it's a 3D work instruction where we can see all the steps to manufacture this finished product. Okay. And also, let's say, to keep track of the data collection parameters from the machine. For example, if you need to collect the torque and temperature, you need to define these parameters in SAP DM. For that, we go to a different app in SAP DM, which is called Manage Data Collection. Okay. Here, let's say we want to collect this data in the testing operations. So we define a group and we define here the parameters, the torque and the temperature and the different units of measure. Okay, then to collect and keep track of the downtimes and the OE performance, and so OE reports to visualize the performance of the process. Then for that, we need to maintain these different reason codes. Okay, we can, for example, maintain a tree structure in a different SAP DM app. Okay, for example, the different departments and the different reasons why the machine is stopped. We also want to keep track of the quality issues that you have on your materials. For that, you can also maintain non-conformance codes that are called in DM, and each non-conformity can be mapped to a different disposition routine. In this case, can be rework or scrap. So we can know what to do with the materials once we log these quality issues in SAP DM. And in SAP DM, we have the concept of resources. Normally, when the work centers are received from ERP, in the standard integration, SAP DM creates one resource for every work center, but we can define additional ones to keep track of every resource in the production process. We have these 3 machines to perform the assembly operation. We can define 3 different resources and assign them to the assembly work center. And additionally, once we have all this master data in SAP DM, we can assign the different data that we have defined to the different resources, and this is quite useful to display in each resource only the work instructions that we need, or only the quality defects that we need. Okay, so once we have all the master data in SAP DM, we will continue with the 5th step. In this case is sending transactional data, which for this demo, we will send a production order, a shop order or work order, whatever name you use. And for that, we will create this production order in ERP system. Okay, we go back to our S4 system. And in this case, we will use transaction CO01 to create production orders. Normally, you should use a planning system and use plant orders, and from those plant orders create the production orders for this Cooper material. But in this case, I will simply copy an existing order for this Cooper material. Okay, and we have a quantity of 10 pieces. Let's say we schedule it for the current day, for today. Okay, the scheduling is done. Now we do the release. And once we release, this production order will be received in SAP Digital Manufacturing when the integration is correctly configured. So we save. This is the production order. And now the next step would be to check the IDoc is received. For that, we also go to Integration Message Dashboard app. We refresh. So after a few seconds, we will see in SAP DM the order download message with the Lloyd Pro IDoc containing the production order that we have just sent. Okay, here we can see the IDoc and all the information. And finally, our last step is to check if the order has been created in SAP DM. For that, we go to Manage Orders app. We go to SAP DM main screen, and we simply write Manage Orders, or if we have it here, we can simply click it. Manage Orders. We can see here the list of orders, and here we have our order with all the information from ERP, and we can see that it has been replicated correctly with the bill of materials, the plant operations, and if we want, we can also define some custom data. We have here the scheduling. So now the order is ready to be executed. And for today, that's all for this session. In the next episode, we will demonstrate you the execution of this order that we have just sent using the production operator dashboard in SAP DM to perform the assembly operation. So that's all. Thank you, and see you in the future episodes.